Hello everyone! I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over some things with the Guardian, particularly using them together as synergy. All of the Guardians are support troops, but surprisingly, they also work pretty well all together. The main reason for this is because they can get 3 times bonuses unlike any other troops in the game. This is because they're getting it from Elemental, from Construct, and from just being Guardians as a Guardian type. So if we go into bonuses here, we can see that they're getting a total of 8 armor, 8 life, 1 attack, and 2 magic on every single one of them. And if you even got all of the first trait, that would be an additional 8 HP on top of that, which would be a total of 16 extra HP. So quite a bit of bonuses that they get from being with each other. As far as making teams out of these 6 that you can use pretty much always, regardless of if you have the traits on them or not, I would have to say is humility, loyalty, justice, and courage. The main reason for this is none of these 6 have any form of offensive attack, because all of them are simply buffers. They're not exactly really made to be attacking on their own. So when using them all together, you're going to be needing the HP and attack to be able to create skulls and use them effectively while also not dying to them. So this can be done with humility, loyalty, and justice, and courage, because humility will be buffing up the other ones with random stats. Loyalty will be giving them all HP, and justice will be giving them attack and HP, and courage will just be doing attack. So that combination will be able to beef up your team to the point that despite them all 4 of them being support troops, you can use their 15 gems just on skulls or whatever is most populated on the board, and a team like this should be able to do pretty good. It also works really well with the new banner from the Dragon's Claw, which is +2 red and +1 yellow. It'll get humility up to be able to buff the other ones, as well as courage, who will be your main damage buffer with its high attack buff. Whenever you're using an all-Guardian team, you'll pretty much never need sacrifice. The reason for this is you're just going to kill one of your allies, which is pointless since none of the Guardians can summon. So you'll never need sacrifice in an all-Guardian team. Honor, you might be able to put. You could even put that in instead of humility if you wanted to. But I would say you kind of need honor traded to fully utilize it, because all it does otherwise is just an armor buff, and an HP buff is definitely better than an armor buff, especially in the instance of these. So loyalty would be better in that instance. But if you did happen to have honor's trait of stone skin and virtue of honor, you could replace that out for humility. But anyways, let's get into a battle real quick. Actually, there seems to be a guardian one right here, so all 4 guardians. Definitely wouldn't advise sacrificing it. Also, honor, that's a really weird place to put honor. Also, you'd never use honor on the defend team, because its gain is only on when you're playing a PvP battle. If I'm not mistaken, that's only offensively, so you wouldn't be able to utilize that. But anyways, let's just deck this out real quick with this team and see how it does. Obviously, this guy does have a little bit of lower stats. He is my 1 trophy. Actually has quite a bit lower, but of course one of the main reasons I wanted to show this too is just to show, look at how high these things stats are, even though he is such a low level. Look at this thing's even still at level 1. Using a 4 times guardian team is going to be really strong early on, especially if you are a newer player in this game, because getting 1 of each guardian is not really hard to do. All you'd really need to do to get 1 of each guardian is pretty much just get like 1k or more seals in a week, or just spread it out, use them, and you'll pretty much get 1 of each. It won't take too long. There's a 50% chance per guild key that you will get a guardian. So in about like 20 to 40-ish guild keys, you are more than likely to get at least 1 copy of every single guardian in the game, so you'd be able to form a team like this, and it works really well. You don't really even need them leveled that much. Of course, you don't even need their traits either, though they would be better with them. Let's just use it on skulls. For the most part, you'd be wanting to use it on skulls. All of these troops are going to be buffing each other up, and since skulls are your only source of damage, with this team, you'll want to make sure you can actually get skulls. So just constantly using on skulls would more than likely be the best idea, especially if you have courage upgraded. As far as actually trading these guardians, the best few to be able to trade up would be honor, which is the brown one that we killed, humility, and courage. Courage because he gives all allies 3 attack and life whenever he does skull, which is much better, or whenever you take skulls, which is much better than justice, which only does the same exact buff, or actually 3 attack and 3 armor, not even HP. 3 attack and 3 armor whenever it kills anything. So you'll be able to trigger courage the most with its virtue of courage. And the other good trait is humility, simply because you can put it up front and any damage that it takes to its HP is going to be buffing up the magic and armor of all allies. This works particularly good if he can get poisoned, since he'll be triggering that 50% chance every single turn. And he can really buff up the team. Even if he gets completely destroyed at the beginning, he's going to be triggering his virtue of humility a couple of times, which will just buff up everything else. And since we did have that +2 red on the banner, we just got that up real quick on our courage. We'll take a skull right there. And of course we get the buff from those due to the trait on him, if you happen to have it. And this team is already down. It was a little bit lower, of course, like we were saying. But still, it can rack up a lot of stats doing this. As long as you don't have something like Deathmark or Devour, you'll pretty much be able to use this against any team. I do have to say, though, a lot of the later game teams, I've noticed with like Stone Skin, Granite Skin and stuff, this team will be a lot slower with, and you probably shouldn't use for stuff like that. But earlier on in the game, when you don't have to deal with Stone Skin and other resistances too much, you might see it on Night Coronet, Lava Elemental, and a few other things. But for the most part, it's used a lot less since not as many people have it earlier on. As soon as you start seeing too many skull protection, you'll probably want to switch out to a different team. But when you're first starting off in this game, a team like this is quite possibly one of the strongest teams you can possibly use when first starting out in the game. Of course, it doesn't have a Valkyrie or anything, so you won't be getting soul farm, but as far as just winning a match, it is pretty solid for that. Anyways, if you have any additional questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. That will do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.